I want to go out to the audience and get some questions from them. I'm going to ask you guys to speak up, and I'm going to repeat the question because we're videotaping tonight, and maybe get some questions for Mark. Yes?
Stand up.
No, you could just throw the question out, and I'll repeat it.
I think your hiring ideas are really interesting.
Cool.
Because I read the book, and we're in series, we've had Series D, and we're
Wow.
on rapid career or recruitment growth right now, like
Yeah.
trying to get 5 to 10 new sales execs every month, and it's competitive.
Yeah.
And with all these companies out there, and I think as managers, we try to score things, but we still have difference of opinions.
Yeah.
And we'll know when there's an A candidate and we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
But sometimes with like a B candidate who's maybe lacking in a few of those areas, we'll debate, whether to give someone a chance because we have investors who want to see recruitment growth.
Yeah.
But then we know we're stuck with them, if you will.
Yes.
So what's your thoughts on giving people a chance? And if so, like, what percentage, especially when you've dealt with investors who
Yeah.
wanting to see you recruit. Like we recruited 12 in July and then we had 1 for August and it was
Yeah.
terrible. So now we
Well, I think my couple of reactions there. My first one is I think you solve it at the source of recruiting and really rethink your recruiting strategy so you're not stuck in that situation. Try to think less about whether or not we have to tell the investors we didn't make our hiring targets or hire a B player, and think more about how can I have 5 A players lined up for 4 spots, because that's doable. And just think about the best advice I got there was don't really hire corporate recruiters. They have a little bit of a quality of life mentality about them. Agency recruiters I think are phenomenal. They tend to be much higher comped and they're aggressive and they source. But if you're outsourcing to an agency, you don't know where you are in the pecking order because they have so many customers. So the best advice I got was to hire to build an agency in your company. And I found a woman who was about to leave her agency to start her own agency, and I was like, just do it at HubSpot. And we paid her like an agency salesperson. So my first reaction is just to try to fix that at the source. The second one is, to be quite frank, no one ever gets it right, and that's what stressed me out too. Is there were so many salespeople that I was iffy about, and they turned up being amazing, and so many that I thought were gonna, as scientific as you can be about it, it's still hard. So it's okay to be taking some chances here and there and do your best at vetting them. It does concern me a little bit though that you guys are debating as sales managers. We went through that a little bit, and maybe I've missed your context a little bit, but it maybe it'll be a lesson for other folks. We did have sort of this group hiring process, and then people went into training, and then they were assigned to a sales manager. And my mentor told me what was wrong with that, because what happened was when someone came in and went into training, and they ended up being a little bit of a fishy situation, none of the managers wanted them. And then when they took them, they were this person, they kind of already given up on the person before they even really started. And my mentor was you got to create a situation where when a rep doesn't work out, you can say to your manager, go to the bathroom and look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself whether you're a bad recruiter or a bad coach, because you messed up somewhere, right? So you have to have that level of accountability when you set this up. So even though it took a little more planning and structure, from that day on, we opened requisitions under a manager. It wasn't we're going to hire people and then put them in training and then give them someone. It's you're the manager, you build your team however you want to build it. Now, of course, as the VP, I'm going to I'll veto people I don't like, and I'll force someone to hire someone if I really love them. That rarely happens. But you really have to make sure that manager has the empowerment right from the beginning. And that changed a lot of things. You didn't see as many folks giving up on reps so early because they were the ones that brought that person in.
It's a great question. We're actually going to give you a copy of Mark's book. I think Dave's going around with if you've already got one, then
give
it to
it to your neighbor.
friend.